Okay, so now I move on to my round 4 game. This is against Jeff Guilfoyle. I should mention that he's a player in the Lansing Chess Club, so someone I've known for years now. And the game we played began with one d4. I had the white pieces. And Jeff played d5. I played knight to f3, knight to f6, c4, e6, g3, bishop e7, bishop g2, he castled, I castled, and now he chose to capture on c4. And I played my knight to e5 to pick up this pawn. And in the game I kind of expected him to play c5 right away. It's kind of the way I've seen a lot of people play this, and can kind of add some challenge to the opening. It's not something I'm going to lose or anything like that, it's just a good way to activate his pieces and challenge my center, maybe give me an isolated pawn on d4, or break up my center if I capture. But anyway, I expected that move, and he played knight b to d7, so I went ahead and captured on c4. Then he played rook to b8, and I thought for a little while about this move, and basically my decision on it was that it would be fine. If the pawn goes to b5, I saw that my knight could go to a5, and then with the support of the bishop I would be able to come into c6, and on c6 I would be attacking the queen, the bishop, and the rook. Now obviously the rook could move to b6, and I went to a5 to avoid the fork of the queen and the rook, but essentially I was going to get a bishop pair out of that move if he ended up playing it, and really wasn't something I was too afraid of, so I went ahead and played knight to c3. And then he played c5, so his last move was rook b8, now he plays c5. Why don't you go ahead and this will be a neat chance to maybe pause the video and think about the move that, that white could make here to gain time in the opening. So go ahead and pause the video and think about what you can do to gain time right now. Okay, so hopefully pretty quickly you saw that your bishop can come out to f4, and that's what I played, bishop f4. Attacking along this diagonal, and I've got control of e5, I've got control of d6, I've got control of c7, so he can either sacrifice a pawn here, which looks kind of deadly, right? Let's just look at that real quick. If the pawn goes up to e5, I play maybe pawn takes pawn threatening the knight. Not even sure where the knight goes in this position. Knight g4 seems kind of suspect, so maybe knight back to e8, and then this move of course would threaten both the knight and the rook, so the move he makes in the position makes sense, just rook back to a8, but he's lost time, right, because he played rook to b8, now the rook's going back to a8, and because of this loss of time I decided to jump in with an attack with knight to b5. And I was thinking when I played this move that already getting kind of uncomfortable for black. I mean, maybe a move like knight to e8 comes to mind, and in the position Jeff played knight to d5, and at first I was like, wow, that really seems to stop what my goal is to come in on c7. I saw that I was going to have this forced variation to win an exchange, which I'll let you look for in a minute, I guess. But anyway, when the knight came to d5, I made the decision that my light squared bishop needed to be given up in this position in order to go after that exchange. So I'll go ahead and show you the variation, and just a good thing to know, I guess, in the future for when you play against the Catalan, is that when the bishop comes into c7, that queen has one square on e8 to go to. My knight that's threatened by a pawn hops into d6 and threatens the queen, one way to save her. Bishop takes knight. And now it's not knight takes bishop, but bishop takes bishop. And notice that rook is trapped on f8. So I'm about to win the exchange, and it's move 15, so it's pretty early on in the game. Jeff went ahead and played the queen up to e4, probably thinking about ideas of like maybe bishop coming out to h3 after this exchange is won. So I won the exchange, captured on c5, and at the exact moment that bishop gets freed up to be able to come out to h3, I play knight back to c3, and my opponent resigned because I'm going to win the d5 pawn. I'm up the exchange, and just not a lot of counterplay, I don't think. And I think he was feeling kind of frustrated too that it just came so fast out of the opening like that. So if I didn't play my knight back though, just to show this, if I make like a move like say like a3, I'm not actually losing the exchange here. It might look like he's got the threat of both mate and of taking my rook obviously, but I can play f3 and then on queen e3 check rook up to f2. Obviously not the most ideal place for my pieces, but it does show that the bishop coming to h3 isn't going to kill white's position or kill white immediately. So if it ever does happen to that your opponent does crash through the bishop h3 in that type of position, there is a way out of it, and I thought it'd be good to share how you can get out. So one more time and go back to the position with knight on d5, and let me get rid of these arrows here. So the knight on d5 obviously didn't defend. A move like knight to e8 would have been fine. Also to be considered would be a move like knight to b6, where if the knight came into c7, then the knight could capture this knight, you know, and then black can get back maybe some of the material there. So it's not as clear that that white's just winning, because the other knight can be trapped with like bishop d6. He can get that knight trapped in there. So that'd be another idea to show. Hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to sharing with you my last round game. This was round 4 of the Michigan Class Championships. Next one's the last game, so see you soon.